Hello and welcome back to another Tote stable tour. For today's episode we're in a rather wet Stow-on-the-wold to see David Killahena and Graeme McPherson. A partnership that is only a couple of years old but have already surpassed 50 winners and a few nice ones to boot as well. They've got Marble Sands who hopes to get into the Grand National and a few other nice horses to go to war with in the spring and the summer. If you are enjoying the Tote stable tours, be sure to leave a like, drop a comment below who you want us to go and see, and make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our videos.
They'll have a walk round. Obviously just tell the lads and girls what they're doing. Just make sure that all the horses are sound and they're all happy and they look well. So yeah, if you want to come into the middle here. So here you've got a nice filly, Falconella. She's a half sister to Moon Chime. She's just turned 4. She's a really nice filly, so she is. You want to crack on then? They're all doing the 2 there. And you've got Nala, the lioness, in second. Jonathan, can you do 2, please? He can do 1. Inflexible. You're doing 3 with Jonathan. 2 canters, 2 canters, 2 canters, 2 canters, please. So we'll head on out there and we'll...
You were just saying you've got about 35 horses, that's right, isn't it?
Yeah, just over 35 horses. A lot of young horses, but we'll have a look at them as they come up the gallop there. Obviously Falconella being in front there, she's just turned 4. She's quite nice and sharp. And then you've got another little filly just out the back here, third from the back, Gypsy Sky. She's quite nicely bred, so they'll be all running early spring, so they will. Falconella is actually not far off a run, to be honest. And you've got Sunnery Power there that won at Kempton for us, first run for us for a long time. Came from Charlie Appleby's. And yeah, there's quite a nice bunch of horses, but they're a bunch of young horses that are coming along, you know. And we do tend to take our time with them because we do want to get that longevity out of them. And a lot of them are big chasers anyway, you know. So there isn't much point pushing them as 4 and 5 year olds, because you do run into problems.
Yeah. I was reading about your background. You worked for the likes of Owen Burrows and Aidan O'Brien. So you're more of a flat guy before you got into the jumps?
Well, I'd say when I first came over to England, I actually started with Brendan Powell, and he was a bit mixed. So like he had both jumpers and flat horses, and I did 2.5 years with Brendan, and that was great. I met some very good people, and to this day I keep in touch with. And I always see Brendan at the races, and we always have a joke and a laugh. But yeah, I went from Brendan's back to Ireland, back to Aidan's, and yeah, I learnt a lot. I learnt a lot at Aidan's. You know, it was one of those, you got to ride some nice horses, but you also got to watch some very good horses being trained as well. And like, yeah, you always take bits and pieces out of here and there. You try and take as much out of a place as possible and learn as much. You know, keep your head down and don't ask too many questions and just keep watching. But yeah, I went from Aidan's to Barry Hills. So it was Barry I started with, and then Barry retired after a year, and Owen was assistant that year, so Owen was obviously going to take over. And I think it was just under 4 years, or maybe just over 4 years I stayed with Owen at Shadwell, at Kingwood, and he did great. It was a great few years there, and it was just one of those, I've always wanted to train, so I kind of had to spread my wings and go. You know, it was a great job at Owens, but it was one of those, it was all Sheikh Hamdan horses, and it was one of those, Sheikh Hamdan wasn't going to turn around to me and say, here, do you want to train some horses for me, you know. So I took the plunge and came down to Fergal O'Brien's, and obviously he was starting to get bigger and bigger at the time. And it was one of those, like, you go into one of those yards, you start to meet owners, and you get to build that relationship with them, and they'll always ask you, what's your plans, or what do you want to do? And it was always wanted to train, but it was getting round to those good trainers to learn off those good trainers, what they do, and a lot of it is, you know, you copy and paste. You know, you don't. If it works, if it's not broken, don't try and fix it. You know, it's basically how it goes.
And the other half of your training partnership is Graeme, who trained over 200 winners by himself, but then he joined Fergal and now he's with you.
Yeah. So how it came about was, obviously I moved to Fergal's and I did just over 2 years at Ravenswell with Fergal, and then obviously it came about that Fergal had taken the 30 box barn just over behind Graeme's place there, and I came over to basically oversee that yard, and we quite a lot of success out of there, to be quite honest. You know, so I think it was one of those that how Fergal and Graeme came about, and then I basically just stayed as part of the furniture, and obviously when they split up, I was asked, was there an option of did I want to take my licence out with Graeme, and it was one of those I didn't really have to think about it. It was yeah, definitely. Some days I think back now and I wonder why, but yeah, no, it's been very good. We've got a very good partnership there. You know, we both understand all the horses, and it's one of those, like, he lets me crack on and do what I've got to do, and he's always there for support. As I said, like, he's always in his office there, but he does have another job and he's always busy, you know. So it works great in a way that, you know yourself, sometimes two can be a crowd, you know, where in fairness he just lets me crack on and do what I've got to do.
I think you've just surpassed 50 jumps winners, and you had a few winners on the flat as well. How would you say how it's gone so far then?
Yeah, look, obviously the first season we started, we only had about 5-6 months of the season, and we were pulling, well, I was pulling my hair out for the first 3 months. Everything that we ran, it didn't win, but it finished second, third. But then once Moonshine was our first winner in October, I think it was, and once the first one went in, they all started to go in then, and then obviously it snowballed from there. Like the following season, we had a great season with 27 winners over jumps, and I'm pretty sure there was definitely a handful of flat horses there as well that had won. And like as I said, it's one of those, they were all older horses, they were ready to crack on with. You know, they were off nice marks, so they were. And this year is a bit quieter because obviously those older horses, they've either retired or they've met their mark. And like as I said to you there, if you went around there before the Christmas and had a look in every door, you'd be looking like there's another 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 3-year-old. You know, there's a lot of 3 and 4-year-olds. A lot of them just turned 4 now. But like, yeah, as I said, we take our time with them. You know, there's no point rushing those big national hunt horses to be running them at early 4-year-olds. You know, sometimes it can get a bit frustrating when you can't get one to the track as a 4-year-old or a nearly 5-year-old. But at the end of the day, they've all got the pedigree to be better at 6, 7 and 8, you know.
Just tell me a little bit about the facilities here. You've got a marvellous stable over there and in these huge gallops.
Got lovely stables over there. You know, there's plenty of air getting through them. We've got a 4 furlong uphill gallop that we've just recently resurfaced this year. It's recently been railed as well. We've got an all-weather schooling strip. We've got 2 schooling strips down the bottom here on the grass, fences and hurdles. And then we've got a 1.5 mile loop gallop, which is perfect for the flat horses because they love just bopping around there. It's so easy on them. It keeps them nice and fresh. You know, you don't have to do a whole pile with them up the hill. But yeah, it is very good facilities, and we do also have a field down the bottom there, quite a flat field, where if we can get a bit of rain and it's a bit of soft and it's safe, we tend to just bring the youngsters round there just for a hack round the edges, you know, and get them up sides and teach them plenty, and you know, it's getting them on the grass is great.
And you touched on a bit there with the younger horses, but you seem to do quite well with sort of bumper runners.
Yeah, no, the bumper runners, in fairness, because like we do enough with them, but we don't, you know, we don't have them fine-tuned to be winning bumpers. You know, we always leave them with a bit to improve, you know, and let them go there and enjoy themselves. Like the lad yesterday, Solo Eclipse, like we'd done loads with him at home, but it was one of those, you can only do so much at home, you need to get out and run. And look at, yeah, he ran really well, but he is going to come on a lot for that run, mentally more than anything. So he's going to be a lot sharper. So he's definitely one to keep on the right side of the next time he runs.
And I noted a couple of jockeys that you tend to use is sort of Keelan Woods and Nick Slatter. How does that sort of work? Yeah,
no, it's grand. Yeah, all good. Keelan pops in there once a week, and we school plenty and ride work. So in front here, you've got Inflexible, and you've got Falconella, and then you've got Nala the Lioness, you've got Sonnery Power, and then you've got I Am the Idaho, you've got Nautical Queen, and you've got Gypsy Sky, and then you've got Blue Skies Ahead, and then you've got Angel of My Dreams. So yeah, there's quite a nice variety of horses out there at the minute. There's a lot of them bumper horses, you know, so as I said, like this spring and early summer will be a lot of bumper horses, where come next season they'll all be out of the bumpers and into Novice Hurdles.
You just mentioned one of them there, Blue Skies Ahead. You quite like that horse, don't you?
We really like her, in fairness. She's very well bred. We bought her at the sales. It has taken a bit of time to get her there, but look, she has got a lot of ability. She won a point-to-point bumper, so she did, and won it really well. She was ridden the way we wanted to ride our horses. She was last. She did get hampered a couple of times, in fairness to her, and she still showed that she won it nicely. And that was around Maysmore, and I think the second division, I'm pretty sure the horse that won it finished second in a listed race at Huntington not so long ago, and Blue Sky's time was a lot quicker in the other first division. But no, we really like her. She's quite nice. She'll be out there pretty soon. It'll be around the March time she'll be out. Does want to touch a soft ground, but we are a small bit behind her. But at the end of the day, she's going to be quite nice, and she will be, hopefully, fingers crossed, a broodmare, nice broodmare in time. Brilliant.
And you are a yard, I suppose, in your infancy really, since you joined the licence, but you have had a few big race winners, the Colin Parker, the River Don, and a nice handicap chase there for Marble Sands at Cheltenham.
Yeah, it's been great. I have to pinch myself every so often how lucky I am to have walked into a job like this with horses that are basically ready to go, with Marble Sands being a star. And then winning the Colin Parker was really nice. You know, winning the Colin Parker was great for the owners, David and Jackie. And look, it puts a bit of faith in me as well, because like, although Graeme has trained loads of winners in his time, but it's taken me on as well to trust me to do that, and trust me with those types of horses. You know, it's nice. You know, and then obviously Yellow Car winning the River Don, like that was. He's just defied all odds, in fairness to him. He wouldn't be the best of work horses, and to watch him coming up the gallop, he's not the most pleasing to look at, but yeah, by God, he can gallop, so he can.
And we just talked about it there. You've got some interesting stats at courses that are quite far away.
Yeah.
Musselburgh, you got a 50% strike rate, and it's quite profitable to back you there as well.
Yeah, no, it is. Musselburgh's been very good to us, so it has, in fairness, and even when we go up, everybody is so nice. And look, it just worked out that the races were there for the horses we had, and I did enjoy my few trips to Musselburgh. It was good, you know. We might get a few more soon.
There's a few more sort of local tracks on there as well, but I suppose being so close to Cheltenham, the ambition for these yards maybe having Cheltenham winners.
Look, it'd be nice to have any winner, you know. The Cheltenham winner in November was great. You know, it was one of those that you're training to be at those big meetings. You're training those horses to be at those big meetings, and to have a winner at Cheltenham. You know, you're always going there. Every time it's always tough at Cheltenham. No matter whether you're going there with a favours or not, or you're going there in great order, you can be put back in your hocks fairly quick. And in fairness, like, I think we did the stats there before November. Everything we had ran at Cheltenham, I think we had 7 runners at Cheltenham. They've all been in the placings. You know, they haven't been out of the first 4. So that was great. And then obviously Marble Sands topping off the winner was the icing on the cake, in fairness.
I noticed even with your sort of staying chases like marble sand, you give him a few spins on the flat. Is that just to keep him interested?
Yeah, no, it's like, the thing is, we've given him a few runs on the flat on the all-weather. It's good for them, you know, and it teaches them to go forward, but you'd love to have him for those stay-in races on the flat as well. You know, and he's ran well on the flat, in fairness to him. Like, he's picked up some nice prize money there in some decent little races. And but like, it's freshening them up before they run as well, because like, before we went to the Colin Parker, he had a run on the flat, you know, and it just blew those cobwebs away, besides running them over 2.5 or 3 mile on, let's say, soft ground, and pulling the guts out of him, where he had gone and he had ran on the all-weather, and then he ran a really respectable race before that, in fairness to him, and with some nice horses around him. But it meant that he was going there and he came out of it fresh and well, and you knew you were going to the Colin Parker fresh and well, and you weren't bottomed, you know, by running 2.5 on soft ground somewhere else.
Yeah.
You can do a small bit of a stronger one than last week, okay? Jonathan, can you come my side, please? So yes, I am the Idaho and then Flexible in front. So they'll do a bit of work here in 3 this morning.
How sort of far away is he from running there?
We were just thinking there probably the middle of March, early to middle of March. But yeah, we won't be in any panic with him. But he's going to be a lovely hurdler and a lovely chaser in time. As you see, like, he's massive, and he's not far off being 17 hands, so isn't.
So we touched on him earlier, winning at Cheltenham early this season, and now he's got a Grand National entry. Is that the big goal then?
That's the end goal. So it is. He'll have an entry there in the Grimthorpe at Doncaster, and that'll be his run. There's also a Newbury race the same day, a veterans race, but we'll see how we go. Whichever is the right race for him, he'll be going. But yeah, look, he's been a great servant. So yes, he's been a great servant, and obviously being our first Cheltenham winner as well, you know, it is special. So it is.
I think he's rated 147 now, so I suppose he's on the cusp of sort of getting in if the classier Irish horses come over.
Well, yeah, exactly. Look, at hopefully we get in, and look, it's a great experience no matter what. For a small yard to have a national runner, and his owners as well, they put a lot into it, and Graeme as well. Like, it's a dream to be nice. It'd be nice if it happened, but look, we'll be there in good form, and we'll take our chances and see what happens.
I suppose he wouldn't be going there without a chance. He's got some classy chase form.
In fairness to him, like, I'll happily say, like, even at Cheltenham, that 3-3, you know, stamina was a bit of an issue. Well, I thought it would be a bit of an issue, but he's seen it out well, you know, and he looked to be, the further he went, the better he was. So yeah, hopefully the extra mile there will help him.
And he prefers a bit of better ground as well, doesn't he?
He does, but like, it was soft enough at Cheltenham the other day he won, and that's why we tended to keep him away from all those soft ground, because we thought he'd struggle in it. Now look at his run at Wetherby, Boxing Day. It was soft, but it was tacky, you know, and he ran really well in it that day, but still it was tacky. It would have been better if it was wetter. It's that fine line. It's either good ground or wetter the better. You know, it's when it's tacky. Some horses thrive in it and some don't.
He's a lovely character. Nice.
Honestly, he's like a lamb. So he is. Mightn't be like a lamb sometimes when he's fresh, but he's quite excitable sometimes. But he's been very good. Look at Jodie's done a great job with him, riding him out every day. He keeps a lid on him, and yeah, he's definitely Jodie's favourite anyway. He's all our favourites. We pointed him because obviously what I had said earlier, he wasn't the best of workhorses, but yeah, he has surprised everybody. So he has surprised everyone. But like, he's got another one, an unbelievable mind. Like, nothing phases him. Like, I remember going to watch him in his point-to-point run, and like, he was there an hour and a half before he went to run. He just stood in the lorry. Like, first time out, stood in the lorry, never budged. But like, yeah, he's a lovely horse, and in fairness, there's still plenty of miles left in the clock. He's just unfortunate that finishing fourth in the Algo. He won the River Dawn, which was great, He's done nothing but improve, but finishing fourth in the Albert Bartlett was really nice. But he struck into himself, which was quite annoying, because he did do quite a bit of damage to his tendon. But like it's repairable, and he will be back. But unfortunately, it's just going to take a bit of time. He's back in now, just doing a bit of walk of work, bit of work in the Pessoa, and yeah, he'll be back. So we're not going to rush him, you know. And in fairness to Harry, he's been great about it. He's going to have plenty of patience with him. All he wants to do now is just see what you have in your hand. But he's a bit of a cheeky monkey like that as well. But no, he's great, you know. And look at, hopefully, like I think if I look back again, I might be corrected, but he was only beaten something like 7 or 8 lengths in the Albert Bartlett.
Yeah.
You'd like to think, well, I thought if we had got loads of rain, he would have been a lot closer.
Yeah.
He just wants that. He just wants everything just to slow down a bit for him. He's not the quickest in the world, but like that as well, he'll happily tag along with them, just doing enough. Like if you go back and watch his Cheltenham run in December, when Nick rode him in December, like he's on it, he's off it, he's on it, he's off it, on and off the bridle. It's like he doesn't know what he knows when he wants to go forward, but he's just only ever doing enough to keep up with them. And like he's the perfect type of horse. That's why we said we'd definitely go to the Albert Bartlett with him, because you need something that has to be behind the bridle to be there to actually see out that trip. But yeah, no, definitely I'm really looking forward to. I'd love to have him back this season, but it's a waiting, just a bit more time, you know. You might as well do it right when you're doing it.
Could he be sort of next season going novice chasing them with his point-to-point form?
I definitely. But I would like to. I'd like to just leave him over hurdles for a couple of runs. I'd love to, and like I don't know what Graeme. We'll all sit down and we'll have a chat where we go. But you'd like to think he'd be definitely a long walk contender. That 3 mile soft ground at Ascot. I'd love to have a crack at something like that with him, or even go back to Cheltenham to one of those stay-in races. And you know what, like he's always, since the day he's been in, he's always been a light type, very light, like hard to keep condition on him. Even though he eats well, he'd eat you out of a house and home, so he would. But for the break he's had so far, like unbelievable the way he's done. He's muscled up so much, he's strengthened up so much. So you could see a different horse, so you could, when he comes out the next day. I'm hoping you will, but look he's only got to stay the same as what he was last year, and he'll be competitive. There's another nice little bumper filly, Angel of My Dreams. Graeme bought her on the online sale. She won a bumper banger, a point-to-point bumper at Bangor, and she qualified for the bonus when you buy through that online sale to run at Aintree, and she was working really well up to Aintree. She went there in great form, but I think we made the mistake of probably just riding her a bit too handy. She has quite a lot of speed, and she just ran with the choke out and just didn't finish her race. But I think being a bit more patiently ridden, you'll see a different horse. But she goes really well. She's been working really well. She'll be out now pretty soon. Just wouldn't mind that rain. I would hope that rain would go away a bit. But look, she's going to be a nice horse in the future to look forward to. She jumps really well as well. We've done plenty of schooling with her. So yeah, she's going to be quite a nice one to look forward to.
So this fella won a good handicap hurdle at the Scottish Grand National meeting, beating a decent skeleton horse.
He did.
And he was last seen in Beginner's Chase at Huntingdon.
He did, and in fairness, it was one of those when you think back, he was always looking at him. He was always going to be a chaser. From the day he won his bumper, we always said, this will be a lovely chaser. He's a half brother to that Brief Ambition, which was a really nice chaser for Fergal. And for some reason, it just didn't work out. He's just not the. He's a funny one because he's very good at home with his schooling. He's very brave, and shows no signs of what he does when he goes to a racecourse. He's just, his confidence just isn't as high at the racecourse over fences. So look, we've given him a break. He's had a few issues, and he is a delicate old soul, in fairness to him. But fair play to the owners, they've had plenty of patience with him. So he's had a little break there over the winter. and you'll be seeing him back out again in the spring, but he'll be back over hurdles. I think chasing, although he is built like a chaser, he just doesn't take to it, and that's what happens to some of them. You know, that's what happens to some of them. They just don't take to chasing.
Could you look at something like the race he won at Ayr, maybe?
I think we'd look back at something like that again. Yeah, definitely. You know, we'll get him out there as soon as we can again, and yeah, you'll be looking towards Ayr again maybe. And look, he's active round that track. He'll be fresh and well. You know, he'll be lightly raced, so yeah, he'll be going there in good form. Sunday Soldier, look, she's been very good to us in fairness. As you said, we've been to Scotland plenty with her. Obviously winning the Lady Buttons final for us, that was great, you know, and great for her owners as well. They've been very supportive of us, and they've had to have a lot of patience in fairness. So when we ran her first, she picked up a little niggly injury. She struck into herself at Worcester. She had to have a bit of time off, and I think that was the long and the short of it really, of why she came out and won what she did afterwards, because when she was running her first few runs, she was still very weak, and it just took us time to build her up and get her as strong as we could, and it was probably you know, you never like to see them picking up injuries, but it was probably one of those, it gave her that time to strengthen up, like because she had a couple of months off with it, and then she went on, and yeah, she the rest is history then really. She won. We kept her busy, and the races were there for her though. That was the thing, you know. And like, she was another one, she took no training, you know. Once you got that first run or two into her, it was only a matter of ticking her over, and yeah, and look at it, it just hasn't worked out over fences. Yeah, her first run was decent at Exeter, and she just seemed to struggle after that, but look, as I said, some horses take to chasing and some don't. Like, they can look like fine big chasers, and they just don't have the guts for it. But look, it was a nice run back at Lingfield the last day, although she was only beaten 6 lengths. It was a nice run back. She jumped well, and it was more a confidence boost for her. So look, we'll be getting her out there pretty soon again, trying to find the right races for her, and try and win another couple with her if we can. You know, she's been very good to us in fairness. Very good, isn't you? So here you've got Harzandacassandra, Harzan filly that we bought at the store sale at Doncaster. She's just turned 5, so she's ready to run the bumper. We were going to have her in for Warwick there this weekend, but we're not overly keen on running, especially fillies anyway, on heavy ground first time out. So we want her to go and have a nice experience. So she is in at Ascot next weekend, although it will be a hot bumper, but she's ready to go. Do you know what I mean? We need to get her out and get a run into her. She will come on a ton for it, and that's one thing I will promise you, she will come on a ton for it. She's been away for a gallop, but she still is very green. But I'd rather her go there and have the experience and run green and run a nice race, and we know we've got plenty left in the tank. She's got a half sister in Ireland, Gordon Elliott trains, which has won a listed race at Chepstow, I think it was in October, over fences. Look at it, you can see she's not the biggest, but she jumps quite well as well. We've had her schooled, and yeah, she's quite nice and quite nicely bred. So you'd like to think in time, all going well, if we can win plenty of races, she'd be a nice broodmare in time. Yeah, he came to us. I think he had ran in something like 21 times and hadn't won or something like that. And yeah, he's a funny old bugger in fairness to him. He likes everything his own way. And I think we ran him a few times. Like we ran him first time at Worcester, and he's always had headgear on. So we decided to take all the headgear off, and we start from scratch and see where we go. And in fairness to him, he ran really well first at Worcester. With no headgear on, ran to the line. We knew to be a bit of improvement there, and yeah, I think we guilty that we probably ran him in the wrong races a couple of times after that, but we were getting a bit frustrated with him, and it was one of those, I think we said, right, his next run, it's every post to winning post. Said to Nick, you know what to do. Every post a winning post, and if he gets beat, he gets beat. And he loved it. He loved it. Like, watch him the first time he ran and won. He went round with his ears pricked the whole way around. And then he went back to Lingfield and he won again. And then he went to Leicester. And I just think that deep ground on a galloping track that he's able to handle. And as long as he's out there in front and not being pestered, he's happy along there, you know. And something comes to his girth slowly, he'll gradually keep pulling out. But yeah, don't. Although he ran there the other day at Sedgefield, but put a line through that. But he'd be out again there in a few weeks. We have kept him busy, in fairness, but the reason we keep him busy is because he doesn't do anything at home. Like, he'll have a little bop round the loop there, maybe a trot and a canter around the indoor arena or the outdoor arena. He'll go on the walker for a day. He'll go out in the paddocks. Easy rides him out there every day, and sure, he's as fresh as paint every day of the week. So that's hence why we've ran him so many times, because he literally does nothing at home, and he's happy doing that. So he's happy eating his hay there anyway. So Chime, look, he's been very good, in fairness. Obviously, he was our first winner, so he was at Stratford, and then he went on, and then he obviously had won a bumper previously, obviously for Fergal when he was here at Worcester, and then won for us at Stratford. And then, in fairness to him, he's done nothing but build on that since. We've had to give him a few runs in the flat. He is quirky, as you can see in some of his races. He has thrown away a few races, which was quite annoying. But look, he is what he is, and whoever rides him, they know he has that quirk. He's had a pretty decent season, in fairness, but we've given him a break in the depths of winter because he doesn't want that deep ground. You know, and I don't see the point of running on that sort of ground when they don't need it. You're doing yourself no favours, owners no favours, and the horse no favours is the main thing. The horse comes first. So yeah, he's just been back in there a couple of days now. He'll have a week or two of trotting, and we'll be back cantering again. And yeah, definitely looking towards the end of spring, early summer for him, and he'll be kept going. So, and look at all going well. You know, there's still a bit of leeway in his mark there. We can pick a few nice races for him and go and hopefully win a few more.
So she was a bumper winner, and she's won 4 of her 10 starts over hurdles, and she won a nice race at Ascot a couple of months ago, and went to Doncaster subsequently. She
did. She's been very consistent, so she has, in fairness, for her bumpers. Her first 2 bumpers she was placed, and then she went and won at Worcester with Nick. We took a penalty off her against the lads, and in fairness to her, she's progressed ever since. The only thing is, she isn't the best of jumpers, you know, and we were kind of slightly on the back foot with her when she came over from Ireland, because she was very weak, you know, and we were trying to run her at the same time, but keeping her happy and trying to get the owners to the races, because we knew she had an engine, but like, if you look back and see when we ran her, like, she probably had 2 or 3 quick runs, and then she had a month off. And then she'd have another run, and then she'd have another month off, you know. So we kept her going like that. And look, it's been great. Danny rides her out every day at home. He's done a great job with her. And look, you'd love to have a few more. She's been so easy to train, very straightforward, and won that lovely race at Ascot, and it was great as well, because I'm pretty sure it was Shaw Racing first winner at Ascot. I'm pretty sure it was. I might be wrong, but no, it was a lovely day, and it was great for all them to go to Ascot on a Saturday and have that calibre of horse to go and win. I think Ascot probably left its mark on her for its next run at Doncaster, but look, it's one of those. She is going to go to the breeding shed this year, so we'll probably have another couple of runs with her, and we'll be looking forward to her offspring. So she's a Getaway filly. She's called Aunt Galley. She's out of a half sister to Bob Bollinger. She's a very, very nice filly, very straightforward. She's not the biggest, but like that, we'll take our time. She's got a half brother in Ireland. I'm pretty sure it's called Ragman's Corner, which is rated up into the 120s and rated up into the 80s on the flat. Now, she won't be going on the flat, but she's going to be quite a nice bumper horse in time. She's definitely one to keep an eye on, keep on the right side of. She is that proper national hunt type. She might take a bit of time to come, but like, I've seen a massive improvement in her in the last few months there. So she's not the biggest, but yeah, she's got a good stride to her. she's got a great attitude, and with being how well bred she is, she has a future, in fairness to her. But yeah, another one of Graeme's boys, another good Graeme boy. Here you have Solo Eclipse. Ran yesterday in a bumper at Huntington. Ran really well. Very happy with that. He's always shown us at home that he's been a nice horse. He is very well related to horses. Like, he's a half brother to Hell's Kitchen, militarian, and that. So, but like, as you can see, he's massive. He's taken so long to come to hand, but like, look at massive. Well done, and thanks to his owners David and Jackie and Graeme for having so much patience and in him to and allow him to grow, because he's gone there yesterday. Although he's 6, he's gone there yesterday, a fine, big, strong horse. You know, and I just don't like running them when they're weak. You know, you can get them there as 4 and 5 year olds, but look at, he's a perfect example. He's done the job, and you'd like to think next time out in a bumper, we'll have a sit down there in a couple of weeks and see how he comes out of it. But you'd like to think that he'll be winning the bumper off the back of that here yesterday.
I'd say that bumper run is a fair piece of form. Where does he sort of fit in the horses in bumpers this season? Does he take good rank?
He does, in fairness to him, he does. Like, I was, you know, he was big and raw going there. We'd done loads with him. He was very fit, but obviously we do enough with them, you know, but he was going to come on for it. We always leave them to come on for it. He's always plenty left in the locker. And looking at that there yesterday, he travelled around there with his ears pricked. They quickened up and he got a bit lost, but once Nick got a couple of digs into him, he was back on the bridle again, and in fairness to him, he ran all the way to the line, you know. And the nicest thing about him was watching him walk back in, and even watching Nick last night when I watched it back. Not that he half struggled to pull him up, but he was wanting to go forward, you know, and that's what you want to see. Came back into the paddock, into the parade ring, ears pricked, looking around him, and loving life, and that's what you want. You want them to go and have a nice experience first time out. You know, regardless, win, lose or draw, you just want them to go and have a nice experience. And
when he goes over hurdles next year, what sort of trip do you see him over?
Look, we'll start him off over 2 mile, but you'd like to be thinking there you'll be 2.5. He'll be a chaser. You'd like to think he'd be a staying chaser in time, you know, with the way his breeding is. But yeah, you'd start him off over 2 mile there, and you step him up then after that. You want them to find it easy. You don't want them to be going out and run them over 2.5, 3 mile first time out, unless they're able to take it, you know. But look, you start off and work your way up. Here you've got Katagat. He's been very good in 2 bumpers, finishing 3rd first time out, and finishing placed again there the other day. He's a lovely horse. He's just very fragile, so he is. So we're just going to take our time with him, and yeah, he looks to hopefully to have a bright future over hurdles in time.
And he was a bit of an eye catcher at Ayr last time, and he said you deployed different tactics to sort of play him late.
Yeah, it was one of those, like, first time out, we always tend to just drop them out a bit and get them to relax for that first mile anyway, you know, and get them into it. But I think it was nothing Nick could do really. It was that he jumped off and he latched on, and he just wanted to go forward, so he did, and he ended up stuck halfway, and maybe it was the fact that he was just doing a bit too much, too early, and but he looked 2.5 out that he was the winner, you know. He was still on the bridle, but I think Green has probably just caught him as well. But yeah, we went to Ayr there the other day, and we just wanted him to have a nice experience, and yeah, look at he ran respectably, you know. We were a small bit on the disappointed side, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. We know he's got an engine and he's got a very bright future over hurdles. But yeah, as I said, don't be surprised if you don't see him again for a while. He is quite fragile. We'll be looking after him, you know. He's a nice horse. So here's a really nice horse, Noble Calling. He's just had a touch of a setback. He's quite well bred. He's a Caliphate, really nice athletic mover. We've done a bit with him, but he's just back in now in work. But you'll definitely be seeing him in the spring there, see you will. I think he potentially could be quite a nice horse, you know. He's shown us all the right signs, so he has.
How old is he, and will he be going bumpers, novice hurdles?
He'll have he's 5. He'll have a couple of runs in bumpers, and then we'll be looking towards his novice hurdle for next year.